center field.
From Turtle Creek Stadium in Traverse City, Michigan, it's almost time for Rockford Rivets baseball. Today the Rivets open a 4-game road series, first taking on the Traverse City Pit Spitters. Good evening, everybody, and thanks for joining us. It's Larry Larson alongside Ethan Blake tonight. We thank you for joining us. And Ethan, tonight kicks off of a huge road trip for the Rivets, probably the biggest of the season. 2 games here in Traverse City, and then 2 games against the first-place Kokomo Jackrabbits.
Yeah, like you said, huge series going into the home stretch of this season, 20 games left. The players understand the gravity here. Obviously, Traverse City, first-half champions, we know they're always a tough out. Dating back to last year, the Rivets haven't beaten them in their last 10 games. And then going into Kokomo, another team, the Rivets picked up a big win, split a 2-game series at home with Kokomo last week, but Kokomo currently sitting atop the standings for the Great Lakes East, and the Rivets will definitely have to pick up a win or 2 there when we go down to Indiana.
The Jackrabbits ahead of the Kenosha Kingfish by 1 game in the Great Lakes East, and like Ethan mentioned, Traverse City already has its playoff spot locked up because they won the first half. In the second half, they've struggled a little bit. They're 8-8, while the Rivets are 7-9. So Rockford is in 4th place, 4 games back of the Jackrabbits. And as Ethan mentioned as well, just 20 games remain in the season. So you figure that this really could be a make-or-break road trip for Rockford. If they only win 1 or even 2 games, they might put themselves out of contention. However, if they go 3-1 or sweep the trip, then they're in a really good spot. Last night, a big win for Rockford, 9-2 over Kenosha, and it was a good, well-rounded team win.
Oh, absolutely. Got a great start out of Peyton Hutchings, 6 shutout innings, and the offense struck early and kind of kept it in gear the rest of the game. They're going to need to get on top of Traverse City early here and definitely want to see a good start out of Ryan Cully.
Speaking on that pitching, tonight's pitching matchup, 2 southpaws. You mentioned Ryan Cully. He'll take the ball for the Rivets, while he'll be opposed by Rylan Tinsley, the redshirt junior from Sacramento State. And what do you see in this matchup?
I see a guy in Cully that comes in really confident. I mean, came off the first start, solid, but not where he wants to be. Second start looked fantastic. shut down the Kenosha offense in that game. Or actually, it was the Kokomo offense, my bad. And hoping to build off of some of that there, kind of build up the strikeout numbers here, work a little more efficiently. Had a couple long innings there, but didn't give up any runs in that game against the Jackrabbits. And then Tinsley, a guy kind of headed in the opposite direction, kind of rough in the ERA column, sitting about 8.5. And this guy, Rylan Tinsley, not a guy that will strike you out a lot, not a guy that will walk you a lot. Tons of balls in play here. So the Rivets are going to have to barrel some up and find some gaps here at Turtle Creek Stadium.
That's one thing that the Rivets have perhaps not been the best at so far this season. Their strength is their on-base percentage. They're second in the league in walks. Traverse City, on the other hand, is first in the league in walks. So we might see a lot of walks tonight, and keeping that bases on balls total low is going to be a key for both pitchers.
Yeah, I definitely could expect some walks here, although Traverse City, definitely a team that's known for having very, very good pitching. So lots of guys that can just throw strikes, even if they're not striking guys out. Weak grounders, high pop outs.
Absolutely. It's all about that weak contact. And you mentioned Cully's numbers. 2 games started, 10 innings pitched, a 1.80 ERA. Not too shabby. And Tinsley, on the other hand, that ERA over 8 at 8.59, and 8 games started. And you can argue that he is the weakest link of this otherwise solid Traverse City rotation, with their ERA as a team at 3.67, good for 4th in the league.
Yeah, Traverse City. A lot of teams in this Northwoods League, they see a lot of rotation in their starting rotation, but Traverse City really consistent no matter who they've been putting out on the mound. Tinsley's going to try and pick up a solid start here for the Pittsfitters, but good from top to bottom when it comes to pitching here in Traverse City, which is why it's ever so important that the Rivets get out early on Tinsley.
The Rivets scored early last night. We'll see if they can do it again tonight. So often, early in games are determined for Rockford, as they've allowed 112 runs in the first 2 innings of games this season. It's a beautiful night for baseball in Michigan. Taking a look at the weather conditions, very few clouds overhead. In fact, if you look straight up in the sky, no clouds over Turtle Creek Stadium. It's an all artificial turf surface, so the temperature is probably going to be a little warmer down there on the field than up here in the press box, but the temperature is hovering in the mid to low 80s. There was some rain earlier to kind of cool things down, but that has since cleared out of the area, and we don't have any more rain in the forecast tonight. The wind may not play that much of a factor tonight, but it's blowing out to right center field at approximately 2 to 5 miles per hour at any given moment. Great day for hitters, and this ballpark is probably favorable for pitchers, though. 320 down each line and 400 to dead center.
Yeah, absolutely a pitcher-friendly park. One thing to note, though, we talked about this before the game, only 4 players on this current Rivets roster were on the team when they made the first trip to Turtle Creek Stadium. This turf plays different than the natural surface a lot of these Rivets players are used to in Loves Park. So it'll be interesting to see, especially outfielders, when it comes to cutting balls off and taking the most efficient route there. Interesting to see how they play some of those baseballs.
We are moments away from baseball in Traverse City. We're going to step aside and take a brief break, and we'll come back with the starting lineups and baseball after this on the Rockford Rivets Baseball Network. Welcome back to Turtle Creek Stadium in Traverse City. It's almost time for a Great Lakes East rivalry between Rockford and the Traverse City Pittsbitters. The Rivets have yet to beat Traverse City this summer. Let's take a look at the starting lineups. First for the visiting Rockford Rivets, managed by J.T. Scara. Daniel Cantu leads it off playing first base. Phil Matulia follows. It's that lightning and thunder combination at the top. Matulia playing right field. Kevin Bushnell was hit with 3 pitches yesterday. He bats third. He's the DH. Wade Elliott is the cleanup man playing third base. Tyler Hawkins will play center field. Brandon Bannon bats sixth and plays second base. Joaquin Moncay behind the plate. Connor Goodman batting eighth and playing left field. And Josue Urdaneta, the redshirt freshman from Indiana State, rounds it out playing shortstop. Those are the Rivets. These are the Pittsbitters, managed by Josh Rebant. Zeb Ruse, the sophomore from Wofford College, leads it off playing right field. Mario Camilletti, the reigning Northwoods League Player of the Night, bats second and plays second base. Tito Flores bats third. He'll play third. Michael Steigels is the DH as the cleanup man. Trey Younger out in left. Christian Faust at shortstop batting sixth. Cruz Taylor, the redshirt junior from North Georgia, is out in center field. Jake Arnold will bat eighth and play first base. And Adam Proctor hit a grand slam in his last game against the Rivets. He rounds out the lineup playing catcher. That's the Traverse City lineup and defense as the Rivets get set to take on the left-hander from Sacramento State, Rylan Tinsley.
Yeah, and one thing I'm noticing right away, and this may honestly be a strategic choice for the Rivets, former Pittsbitter Johannes Hawkinson is coaching first base. The Rivets always have a player coaching first base, but Hawkinson, someone who's more familiar with this field than anyone else, may be able to make that close call on sending a guy to second when other players may not be familiar.
First pitch to Cantu, lined into deep right field. Ruse back on it, and he tracks it down and makes the grab for out number one. Cantu jumping all over the first pitch there. Are you surprised at that approach?
No, I'm not surprised. Daniel Cantu, a guy who's more familiar with leadoff hitting than you'd think. Kind of a big guy. You wouldn't expect him to be hitting in the top spot, but he knows that probably 85, 90% of the time you're going to see a fastball right there. He thought it was the pitch to hit, gave it a good ride, but right at the right fielder.
Here's another left-hander that likes to swing early in counts. Phil Matulia, lefty on lefty, just getting underway. Top of the first inning. The first pitch to Matulia is cut on and missed on a fastball up in the zone. 0-1.
Interesting to see J.T. Scara go with 2 lefties at the top of the order. Obviously his most familiar pairing at the top, but a left-handed pitcher on the mound kind of goes against convention.
The 0-1, fastball runs too far inside, taken by Matulia. It's 1-1. Phil had a big day yesterday. He won the Batman cape, the MVP for the Rivets. Belted a 3-run home run, his 6th of the summer, to lead all Rivets. Batting .346. Here's the kick in the 1-1. Swung on and hit pretty well down the right field line. It's going to hang up for Zeb Roos, though. Just steps in front of the warning track. He makes the play. The second consecutive fly out to right field to start tonight's ball game. 2 up, 2 down. Bases empty for Kevin Bushnell in the top of the first. Yeah,
really good contact there from Matulia. Just a little bit under it. Was looking, that probably came up only about 10 feet short of the 320 fence in right field. And it was right on the line over by the Rockford bullpen.
Anytime you see something jump off the bat of Matulia, you can't help but get a little excited. Here's Kevin Bushnell, the first pitch to the right. He swung on and tapped up the first base line, and it rolls foul. For a moment, it looked like that one might stay fair, and Tinsley was going to get away with a very, very efficient first inning. But Bushnell, the junior from Benedictine, will see a few more pitches.
Yeah. Speaking of efficient, Kevin Bushnell had quite the efficient night last night, reaching all 4 times, and I believe he saw no more than 10 pitches on the entire night, was getting hit by a pitch early in at-bats a lot.
A frustrating night for him. Here's the 0-1. Breaking ball misses down and outside. 1 ball and 1 strike. Bushnell just joining the team a few days ago, coming off of a monster spring campaign at Benedictine, belting 17 home runs. Here's the 1-1, swinging a line drive foul into the seats beyond third base. Looks like everybody's all right, but that was a screamer.
Yeah, I was gonna call it a laser. Kevin Bushnell, a guy that brings a lot of power to a Rivets team that really doesn't hit a lot of home runs. Pretty balanced team. A lot of guys that just hit line drives. More focused on that ball flight approach that you're seeing more and more common in today's game.
1-2, a swing and a miss on a breaking ball outside of the zone. And it's a 1-2-3, top of the first inning for Ryland Tinsley. After a half, it's Rivets nothing, and Pitt Spitters coming up on the Rockford Rivets Baseball Network. Headed to the bottom of the first inning in Traverse City, scoreless between Rockford and the Pitt Spitters. And Ryan Cully takes the ball for Rockford, coming off of one of the best starts all season long from a Rivet starting pitcher. He went 6 scoreless against the first place Kokomo Jackrabbits back on July 17th, and he's got another tall task today in Traverse City, starting with the right-handed hitter Zeb Roos, the sophomore from Wofford, batting .219 this summer. Cully, the lefty, kicks and fires, and the fastball misses outside, 1-0.
Yeah, Ryan Cully kind of taking the place of our previous number 6, Jace Warkentine. Just a reliable lefty that every time he's on the lineup card, the Rivets are pretty confident they can win that ball game.
1-0 pitch, off speed, misses high, quickly 2-0. And in your eyes, we called that game together, Cully's last start. We'll get to it in a moment here, but in your eyes, what was kind of the key to his success in that start, as the 2-0 is on the way, and that one's in there for a called strike, 2-1?
I think, and this is a key for a lot of pitchers, I think his pacing was really good there. He likes to move a little bit on the faster side, kind of keeps the hitters off balance. I think pace definitely came into play there.
He fires the 2-1. Fastball misses high, 3 balls and 1 strike. One thing that he hasn't done tonight, of course, this is his first batter he's faced, but getting out in front of batters was something that he did on almost every at-bat.
Oh, yeah, that definitely comes into play.
3-1. He pours a fastball in there low, and Roos draws a leadoff walk to start the bottom of the first. Rivets and Pitt Spitters scoreless.
Yeah, a lot of pitching coaches will tell you the most important stat you can put up as a pitcher is first pitch strikes, because that really sets a hitter off, makes it more likely you can get some weak contact or a lot of swing and misses. And like you said, Ryan Cully definitely did a good job of getting a lot of first pitch strikes and getting in front of the Jackrabbits batters.
That's what you got to do against good teams. In Traverse City, you can see why they've led the league in walks so far. Mario Camilletti, the left-handed hitter, strides in the box. Cully from the stretch Gives a look at Ruse, and here's the first pitch. Fastball misses down and inside, 1-0. Ruse taking his lead off of first base. He's a stolen base threat. He's got 14 this summer.
Yeah, Cully and Monkey worked together last Saturday as well. Did a fairly good job of keeping runners in check. Obviously, Cully didn't let too many on in the first place.
Cully sets in a closed stance. Here's the 1-0. Breaking ball in there for a called strike. A well-located curveball right on the inside black. It's 1-1.
And talking about the battery for tonight, one thing that I think has worked in the Rivets' advantage is pairing up pitchers and catchers. It seems like Ryan Cully will probably throw to Joaquin Monkey the rest of the year. We've seen a couple other pairings on the team like that.
Cully fires the 1-1 pitch. Off speed, misses up and away. 2 balls and 1 strike. That's something that you see in the major leagues as well. Obviously, most rosters only carry 2 full-time catchers. But John Lester, Cubs and Red Sox great, of course, preferred David Ross, now the Cubs manager. Hitters count for Camilletti, one of the best hitters in the entire league. And Cully throws over to check on Ruse. Not a quick move, just a I'm keeping my eye on you throw.
Yeah, on the topic of personal catchers, one that always comes to mind for me is A.J. Ellis. I can remember how frustrated Clayton Kershaw was with the Dodgers when he got traded away.
2-1 offering, swinging a high liner into left field, playable for Connor Goodman, and he makes the grab with 2 hands, ranging towards center field. Zeb Ruse retreats back to first base, and that's out number 1 in the bottom of the first. Rivets and Pittsbitters just getting underway. Still no score. Here's Tito Flores, the sophomore from Michigan, batting .284 this summer. Right-handed batter, just 3 lefties in the Traverse City order against the lefty Cully.
I'm just now noticing the Pittsbitters base coaches, Batman at third base and Spider-Man over at first base, as it is superhero night here in northern Michigan.
First pitch to Flores instead of toss over to check on Ruse. It's always fun when teams get into the theme nights. It is superhero night, as you mentioned. Rivets had a superhero night, and that was the last time that Ryan Cully pitched. Worked out pretty well for him. We'll see if he can play the role of villain tonight. First pitch, a high chopper to shortstop. Urdaneta collides with Wade Elliott. Elliott gloves it, throws to first, where the runner is safe. Heads up base running by Ruse. He's going to go all the way to third, where nobody is covering. A disastrous play for the Rivets infield, and there's runners on the corners with still 1 out.
Yeah, really tough ball there for Elliott and Urdaneta. These are 2 guys, just having watched them this year, they're both very dominant forces when it comes to going for those 50-50 balls. Just seem to lack the communication there. Personally, I think Wade Elliott should have taken that one, had a better route to first base. But Josue Urdaneta is always going to go hard after those light choppers.
So now the Rivets will face Michael Steigels, who did a lot of damage against them the last time these 2 teams squared off. Left-handed pitcher, right-handed batter, and the first pitch is swung on and fouled off to our right, out of play. It's 0-1.
The scoreboard has yet to indicate the ruling for that last play. Oh, and just as I said that, it will be ruled an infield single for Tito Flores, a guy who's performed very well against Rockford thus far this year.
I probably agree with that call. Cully comes set at the belt. And the 0-1. Breaking ball lined foul down the right field line into the seats. Quickly 0-2. Good approach here from Cully. But on Steigel's last performance against Rockford, he was awarded Northwoods League Player of the Night back on the 13th when Traverse City drubbed Rockford 22-9. And Steigels, the redshirt junior from Oakland, went 5 for 6. Long pause. And now the 0-2. Swung on and fouled off to the right side again. And Steigels has been behind each of the pitches from Cully.
Yeah, you mentioned that blowout back in Rockford. That may have been the game that Traverse City got themselves back on track. Had a very, very slow start to the second half, especially given that they did win the first half. Came into Rockford 1-5 and came out with a 13-run win.
Not a bad way to snap out of it. Another 0-2. Swinging a tapper to shortstop. Could be two. Erdoneda to second for one. The turn is not in time as Cantu was off the bag, says first base umpire Sean McKinney. So a run comes in to score. Ruse comes to score from third base. And it's 1-0 Traverse City.
Yeah, not surprisingly, JT Scarra will come out here and talk to Sean McKinney at first base. Connor McKenzie, the home plate umpire, if he was looking over at first base, probably had a better angle given the direction Daniel Cantu was moving, going off to his right. Sean McKinney kind of looking head on at Daniel Cantu may not have had the best look at his back foot and whether or not it came off the base.
Well, Cantu pretty much had to lay out to try and scoop that thing off the artificial turf. It was a nice play. And discussion is ongoing between Sean McKinney, the first base umpire, and Rivets manager JT Scarra. And Scarra is going to head back to the dugout. JT's not a guy that's going to get fired up with the umpire. He's never been ejected, he tells me. However, looked like he was not too thrilled with that call.
Yeah, probably what really got to him there was the fact that they didn't at least converse on the play. Not really that they didn't change it.
First pitch to Trey Younger, and the right-handed batter takes a breaking ball high and outside, 1-0.
I think that's all that managers really want to see is just umpires get a second opinion on a close play like that, because Daniel Cantu was convinced he kept his foot on the bag, and JT Scarra just advocating for his players in that scenario.
The kick in the 1-0. Breaker in there that time, 1-1. So now the Rivets have surrendered 113 runs in the first 2 innings of games this summer. Not a number that you want to see get any bigger, but it just keeps on growing as the season goes on. Steigels with his lead off of first, and the 1-1. Fastball misses down and outside, 2 balls, 1 strike.
Yeah, and that run will go down in the scorebook as an earned run, but it almost feels unearned given the miscommunication between Wade Elliott and Josue Erdoneda. Hopefully Ryan Culley can just flush it and move on and put up a couple zeros to follow this one up.
Well, it's all about limiting the damage. Not exactly in a jam here, the 2-1. Bender in there for a called strike on the inside corner, 2 balls and 2 strikes. 1 run in here in the bottom of the first. Traverse City leads 1-0. Steigels takes his lead off of first base with 2 outs. Here's the kick. And the 2-2 offering. Looked like a fastball that missed inside. Monque knocks it down. Didn't exactly make a clean catch, and the count is run full. Culley fidgets with the baseball a little bit. The Rivets in there all road grays. Gold lettering across the chest that says Rockford and gold numbers. Culley sets below the chest and delivers the payoff pitch. Breaking ball sprayed down the right field line. That one drops fair. Steigels rounding second. He's going to get the wave around third. Matulia has trouble with it out and right. And Younger's going to go into third with a dive. It's an RBI triple to make it 2-0 Pittsbitters in the bottom of the first.
Yeah, really weird bounce on the padding up against the bullpen in the right field corner there. Phil Matulia just seemed to be going up for the throw before he had the ball there and let it slip out of his throwing hand.
Another bad break for the Rivets here in the first inning. 1 preventable run scores, and then another on a triple from Younger, allowing Steigels to score from first. First pitch to Christian Faust. Swinging a tapper to second base. Easy play for Brandon Bannon. He throws on to first in time, and the inning is over. But the Rivets struggle early once again, allowing 2 earned runs. First on a fielder's choice from Michael Steigels, and then an RBI triple from Trey Younger. And it's 2-0 after 1 on the Rockford Rivets Baseball Network. Top of the second inning in Traverse City. It's Pittsburgh's 2, Rivets nothing. First game of a 4-game road trip for Rockford is off to a tough start. So the Rivets again struggle early, allowing 2 runs in the bottom of the first. They'll look to come back as they'll send up 4, 5, 6 in the order against the lefty Ryland Tinsley. And it starts with Wade Elliott. Right-handed batter, left-handed pitcher, and the first pitch is swung on and lined into center field. Cruz Taylor back on it, well in front of the warning track, and he makes the play for out number 1.
We've seen a couple well-hit balls out of the Rivets early, obviously a good sign, but something that has plagued them as of late is hitting the ball right at the outfielders. A lot of guys have been barreling up baseballs and just cannot get them to fall in for base hits.
Well, sometimes that's more of a luck thing than anything else, really. Tyler Hawkins climbs in now, and the first pitch to him is a fastball that misses low and outside. 1 ball and no strikes. Hawkins batting .281. The redshirt freshman from Louisville has had an up-and-down season. Started hot and has really cooled down as of late. Here's the 1-0. Swung on and grounded through the left side into left field for a 1-out single. Right on cue, Hawkins maybe gets the bat heated up a little bit.
Yeah, that ball was smoked through the left side by Tyler Hawkins. Anything that comes hard off the bat here will probably slip through unless it's right at an infielder. That's how fast this Turtle Creek Stadium turf plays. Something that was a concern to a few Rivets pitchers that I was talking to before the game, but definitely to the benefit of the Rockford hitters.
Rivets trailing 2-0, top of the second inning. Hawkins, a stolen base threat on first base for Brandon Bannon. First pitch to him, a fastball that misses low and outside. Just off the outside black, and it's 1-0. Bannon is 1 for 3 with the Rivets so far this summer. Just joined the team a few days ago. Batting from the right side here. 1-0 pitch, a little flare into shallow center. Cruz Taylor has a beat on it and makes the grab above his head for out number 2. Hawkins back to first base. Rivets looking to avoid stranding Hawkins as they trail 2-0 early in this one in the top of the second. Joaquin Monque, the freshman from South Florida, strides to the plate now. He's batting .182 with 4 walks and 5 strikeouts. Yet to pick up an RBI this summer. There goes Hawkins. First pitch misses outside. The throw down is not in time. It looked like Hawkins was kind of letting off the gas a little bit on his way to second base. Bit of a weird feet first slide, but he just beat the tag from the shortstop, Christian Faust.
Yeah, also seemed to forget that we are not playing at Rivets Stadium, as he almost slid past second base with how soft and how quick the turf plays, even for human bodies sliding on it.
It does take an adjustment. That's one of the things that players need to be aware of, is that this turf, sliding on it is kind of like a slip and slide. It's almost always you see guys go head first. Hawkins going feet first there. 1-0 on Monque, and there goes Hawkins for third base. Pitch misses down and away, and no throw from Proctor. How about that? Tyler Hawkins steals back-to-back bases. Now he's on third base.
Yeah, fantastic jump from Hawkins. I talked to him a couple days ago about his base running, and he was saying he couldn't really explain why he got less aggressive on the base paths coming into the second half.
2-0 to Monque. Fastball misses outside. 3 balls and no strikes.
But he was talking about he wants to just kind of have a go for it attitude on the bases. Like, as soon as he gets on, he wants to know that he's going to take second and put himself in scoring position.
Monque watches the 3-0 high and inside, and it's a 4-pitch walk issued to the Rivets' 7th batter. So now it's runners on the corners with 2 outs here in the top of the second. Rivets trail by 2, and Connor Goodman, the redshirt sophomore from UW-Milwaukee, climbs in the left-handed batter's box. Big chance for Goodman here, still looking for his first hit as a Rivet. Went 0 for 4 the other night. Lefty on lefty. First pitch from Tinsley. Breaking ball misses low, 1-0. This is a big spot for the Rivets. You allow those early runs. That response is so key. Throw over to check on Monkey. He's back with a dive. No tag from the first baseman, Jake Arnold. But even if the Rivets just get one here, it's a big boost of confidence after a bit of a gut punch in the first. Here's the 1-0. Fastball runs inside. Goodman leans away from it. 2 balls, no strikes. 6 straight balls from Tinsley.
Yeah, definitely a tough one to swallow in the opening frame. Giving up those 2 runs when it really felt like you worked a clean inning, like from the perspective of Ryan Culley.
The kick in the 2-0 pitch, swinging a foul back to the screen. It's 2-1. An aggressive hack there from Goodman, and a pitch that looked a little bit outside of the zone.
Yeah, a bit unusual for him. His approach, he's very focused. He's not going to chase a ton. Really good at spreading the field. He'll hit the pitch where it's thrown.
Open batting stance for him with a wide base. And the 2-1 misses high and outside. Snap throw down to third base to check on Hawkins, but Tito Flores, the third baseman, was nowhere near the bag. So an aggressive play there from Proctor. More risk than reward really on the line there. Yeah, because you could argue that if that play gets past, or if that throw goes over the head of Flores, could end up in left field. 3-1, low line drive into right, and that one's going to drop in front of Zeb Bruce. Hawkins scores, and it gets past Roos. And now, here comes Monkey around third base, and he will score just like that. We are tied back up 2-2 in the top of the second inning. Almost a parallel of the play that happened with Phil Matulia. You could say that that second run would not have scored had Matulia fielded the ball cleanly. And the same thing could be said for Zeb Bruce there. Lets it slip by him, and Monkey is able to score from first on what was just a simple bloop base hit. So that'll likely be a single and an E9 to tie up this game. Goodman standing on second base. Josue Urdaneta, right-handed batter, climbs in, and the first pitch to him. Fastball in there for a called strike. At the letters on the border, it's 0-1. Yeah, Urdaneta probably happy to see a lefty on the mound here. A switch hitter who has been dealing with a hand injury that's kind of limited him to the right side of the plate, even against right-handed pitchers where he'd normally come up in the lefty batter's box. Tinsley delivers the 0-1. Breaking ball misses inside at the knees, 1-1. That's something that is kind of interestingly common amongst Rivets switch hitters. Guys batting from the right side, even against right-handed pitching. Here's the 1-1. Breaking ball in there, paints the outside corner. 1 ball and 2 strikes on Josue. You would think guys come to the Northwoods League, a developmental league, to try and maybe improve on their weaker side of the plate, but these guys want to walk away with numbers they can be satisfied with. So if you feel more confident from the right, you'll hit from the right. 1-2 is laced into shallow center field. That one drops. Goodman gets the wave around third. The throw from Cruz Taylor is cut off. It's an RBI single from Josue Urdaneta, and the Rivets put up a 3 spot in the top of the second to take a 3-2 lead. Yeah, huge 2-out hits from Connor Goodman and Josue Urdaneta. Almost thought there was a chance to catch Goodman at home there, but the Traverse City first baseman Jake Arnold elected to cut the ball off instead and try to throw out Urdaneta in case he advanced to second. First pitch to Daniel Cantu. Curveball in there for a called strike. It's 0-1. And I agree with your assessment there. Looked like a good throw from Taylor. Right out over the heart of the field. Looked to be tracking, but it was cut off. 0-1 swung on and popped foul. It's quickly 0-2. Cantu is 0 for 1 with a fly out to right. Rivets with a 2-out rally. All 3 runs coming in to score with 2 down. The kick in the 0-2 as the runner goes, swing and a miss on a breaking ball on the artificial turf, and Cantu is retired to end the inning. But the Rivets score 3 times to not just tie it, but take an early lead after they allowed 2 runs in the bottom of the first. Lots of offense early in this one. 3-2 Rivets headed to the bottom of the second on the Rockford Rivets Baseball Network. Bottom of the second inning in Traverse City, Michigan. The Rivets lead their Great Lakes East rival, the Traverse City Pittsbitters, 3-2. Rivets allowed 2 runs in the first inning, but then roar back with 3 in the top of the second. A huge response.
Yeah, big support from the bottom of the order. 8-hitter Connor Goodman, 9-hitter Josue Urdaneta, both coming through with big-time 2-out singles. The Rivets always play better with a lead, not much like any team plays better with the lead. But especially for one that gives up a lot of early runs, it's good to be on top here in the second.
So now Ryan Cully is handed a lead as he'll work against the lower third of the order, starting with Cruz Taylor. Kicking the first pitch to the left-handed batter. Curveball tails too far outside. It's 1-0. Taylor, the redshirt junior from North Georgia, one of 2 North Georgians in the lineup. He's batting 149. Here's the 1-0. Fastball lined through the right side into right field. And it's a leadoff single for Cruz Taylor. He was all over that fastball. No problem with the lefty-on-lefty matchup there for him. So here's Jake Arnold, another North Georgian. Arnold also a redshirt junior, batting 184 so far this summer. Arnold was a member of the 2019 league champion Pittsbitters. Left-handed pitcher, right-handed batter. Kicking the first pitch. Swinging a ground ball up the middle, could be 2, and Bannon bobbles it. Tries to step on the bag for the out, but everybody is safe.
Yeah, what really came into play on that play, the ball skipped across the mound, kind of offset the hops a little, and already on turf, a lot of the spin that can come off the second or third hop is tough to read, especially for guys that are familiar with natural surfaces. But adding in the element of the ball rolling across the mound and kind of getting out of rhythm probably threw off Brandon Bannon on that play.
That'll go down as a fielder's choice and an error. So Taylor safe at second on the error, and now Adam Proctor, a dangerous bat, climbs in the box in the 9 spot. Rivets lead by 1. Runners on first and second. First pitch from Ryan Cully. Proctor squares to bunt and pops it up foul. Back to the screen, 0-1.
Yeah, you mentioned Proctor as a dangerous hitter before the game. I told you I was surprised to see him in the 9-hole on the Traverse City lineup, but it could be a huge play right now if he can come through with a big hit.
And be another huge play if Cully could induce maybe another ground ball. Double play here would be massive. He's induced a few double play balls, but the Rivets infield has not been able to turn it. Proctor has belted 4 home runs. The redshirt junior from Michigan State has 16 RBIs. Proctor squares to bunt. The corners come in, and the pitch misses low. Proctor pulls back. It's 1-1.
Yeah, Adam Proctor and Ryan Cully, 2 guys that will become very familiar with each other soon. Adam Proctor, currently at Michigan State, will be transferring to Central Michigan. So I'm sure Ryan Cully and Proctor will get plenty of bullpens in and get to know each other better.
A little Chippewa on Chippewa then. Proctor squares to bunt again. The kick in the 1-1. Fastball in there for a called strike. Proctor pulled back, and now he's behind 1-2.
Daniel Cantu with a full commit to that bunt. Came into about 40 feet away from Adam Proctor. Proctor maybe considered slashing there, pulling back and taking a bit of a hack, but instead took the ball for a strike on the outside half.
Cantu shades in front of the runner despite 2 strikes, and now Proctor squares again. We'll see if he actually tries to bunt this one. He will, and he gets it down with 2 strikes. Cully fields, bobbles, throws to first in time, where the second baseman Bannon covers. But Proctor gets the job done. A risky job there, trying to get it down with 2 strikes. But he moves up both runners. Cruz Taylor to third, Jake Arnold to second. Rivets lead by 1, but a single could change that and flip the lead to Traverse City here in the bottom of the second.
Yeah, well-executed bunt for the Pittsbitters, well-executed defense for the Rivets. Sets up Traverse City exactly where they want to be with Zeb Ruse coming up to the plate.
Ruse, the leadoff batter. He walked and scored last inning. And now Cully steps off.
I wouldn't be shocked to see Ruse show bunt here as well. A guy with a little bit more speed than Proctor could definitely cause some confusion for the Rivets defense.
Cully has the sign from the catcher Joaquin Monque. Sets at the belt and delivers the first pitch. Fastball misses low, and it's 1-0. Some clouds now ranging over Turtle Creek Stadium. A little more overcast than it was back in the first inning. Still a beautiful night for baseball. Rivets working to snap a 10-game losing streak against Traverse City. Here comes the 1-0. That time, the fastball catches the inside corner. It's 1-1. Ruse doesn't have the high batting average that most leadoff hitters typically boast. Just .219. 10 RBIs this summer. Left-handed pitcher, right-handed batter. Here comes the 1-1. Swinging a ground ball to shortstop. Urdaneta charges, looks at the runner, throws to first high, but Cantu gloves it. And Ruse is retired, but Cruz Taylor scores on the RBI ground out, and we're tied back up at 3 in the bottom of the second.
Yeah, this inning has gone exactly as the Pittsburghers would have wanted. Get 2 men on, just play a little small ball, move them around. All they needed was a ball in play there, and they got it on the ground out.
And this is the type of baseball that Traverse City plays. Manager Josh Rebant loves that small ball. And the Rivets have seen that time and time again, whether it was in 2019 or here in 2020. Mario Camilletti climbs in with Jake Arnold on third base. Lefty on lefty. Camilletti is 0 for 1. And the first pitch to the redshirt junior from Central Michigan. Breaking ball misses outside. 1-0, so we got another Chippewa and Chippewa matchup.
Yeah, Central Michigan all over the Northwoods League, sending plenty of players to a number of different teams around the league. It seems like a lot of the Great Lakes East has at least one CMU player on their roster.
1-0, slow curveball. Called strike on the back door, 1-1. And I know you don't like those Central Michigan Chippewas as a Miami, Ohio Red Hawk.
Yeah, Central Michigan, a team that can be very annoying to face.
They were quite good this year.
Yes, the most annoying part is they back it up with some solid play. Central Michigan, a 2-time defending conference champs.
Cully pours a fastball in there. Back on that outside corner, taken for a called strike 2. I think Cully's laughing a little bit out there on the mound. Big smile on his face. Despite being in a jam, runner on third base. 1-2 count with 2 outs. And the pitch to Camilletti. Curveball misses high and outside, 2-2. But there's always that factor in the game of baseball. Some teams are louder than others, but a lot of teams are loud but bad. But if you get that combination of loud but good, those teams are tough to play. The set and the 2-2 offering. Swinging a ground ball to third base. Gobbled up by Elliott. He throws across the diamond. The stretch from Cantu. Enough to get him and end the inning. But Traverse City plays a little small ball, and they tie this game up at 3 on an RBI ground out from Zeb Bruce. It's 3-3 after 2 on the Rockford Rivets Baseball Network. Top of the third inning in Traverse City, tied at 3 between Rockford and Traverse City. Quick look at the out-of-town scoreboard. Kalamazoo leads Kokomo 1-0 in the top of the 5th. Kalamazoo in 5th place in the Great Lakes East, while Kokomo is in 1st. Rivets trail those Jackrabbits by 4 games. Big road trip. The Rivets will see them later. First pitch to Phil Matulia, swinging a ground ball foul out of the hand of Ryland Tinsley, out for his 3rd inning of work. He surrendered 3 runs in his last inning against Rockford after working a 1-2-3 first inning.
Yeah, the Rivets would love to head down to Indiana with a smaller deficit than those 4 games. But, of course, they do still have to take care of business here against Traverse City.
0-1 to Matulia, swinging a foul ball off of his front foot. And Matulia is on all fours in a little bit of pain, and JT Scare is going to come out of the dugout. As Matulia helps himself to his feet with his bat. This is the last thing that Rockford needs, especially on this critical road trip.
Yeah, I think it may have just been a stinger off the shin or off the lower part of the kneecap. Probably just needs a second to walk it off. Phil Matulia should be fine here.
He's shaking up.
The first pitch here unaffected with the artificial turf field.
So the Rivets with a chance to take the lead here once again with 2 outs. They rallied for 3 runs with 2 outs in the 2nd inning to take a 1-run lead before first pitch to Tyler Hawkins. Breaking ball misses low. Looked like Tinsley fell off the mound there after delivering that one. Hawkins takes it for a ball. It's 1-0.
Wade Elliott out at second base, taking a massive lead with how aggressive the Rivets have been on the base paths. Elliott, who is not a huge stolen base threat, could possibly be on the move here.
We saw the Rivets steal third base last inning. Here's the kick in the 1-0. Breaking ball misses on the turf again. Knocked down by Proctor, 2-0. And Hawkins is 1 for 1. He singled through the left side his last time. And a hard hit single through the left score.
Definitely knows it's something he could improve on as the year goes on, and a fantastic at-bat there.
First pitch to Brandon Bannon, misses high and outside. It's 1-0. Bannon is 0 for 1, sophomore from Illinois Springfield, trying to give the Rivets another lead. Wade Elliott takes his lead off of second. Hawkins off of first, neither being held, and the 1-0. Misses inside, snap throw down to first, not in time. Jake Arnold had to leap over Tyler Hawkins to make that grab. And now we've seen, what, 4 back picks from Proctor?
Yeah, especially looking at Tyler Hawkins. Clearly those 2 stolen bases last inning are in the head of the Traverse City catcher. Doesn't want to let anything like that happen again.
Tinsley sets at the chest. Here's the 1-1. Breaking ball misses low at the shins. A little bit inside as well. And it's 2-1. So Tinsley is starting to struggle. He's really struggled, especially with 2 outs this game. He's up to 51 pitches now.
However, on that note, not only is there no action in the Traverse City bullpen, there are no people in the Traverse City bullpen.
Bannon leans out of the way of a 2-1 fastball. It's now 3-1.
The Rivets, a team that likes to split up. The relievers go out, like to have their own space in the bullpen. The position players and the starters that aren't going like to be in the dugout, but Traverse City is packed to the brim down there on the third base line.
Tight-knit group are the Spitters. Here's the 3-1. Fastball paints the inside corner, and the count is run full against Brandon Bannon. Runners on first and second. Lots of early action in this one. Thanks for joining us here in Traverse City, Michigan. Big road series for these Rivets. Tinsley has the sign. Here's another payoff pitch. Swinging a low line drive into shallow center field. Long run for Taylor, and he tracks it down. Makes the catch waist high. A close call there, but the Rivets do not strike with 2 outs. Here in the third, they leave 2. And after 2.5, it's still 3-3 on the Rockford Rivets Baseball Network. Threes are wild in this one. Bottom of the third inning, Rivets 3, Traverse City Pittsbitters 3. First game of a quick 2-game set up here in Northwest Michigan. The Rivets have not beaten the Pittsbitters since July 17th, 2019. Ryan Cully making a bid to change that. He's had an up and down day so far, allowing 2 in the first, 1 in the second inning, and he'll face 3-4-5, starting with Tito Flores here in the third. Left-handed pitcher, right-handed batter, and the first pitch misses down and outside. It's 1-0. Tito Flores, the sophomore from Michigan, 1 for 1. Singled his first time up. The wind and the 1-0. Breaking ball misses high and inside, 2-0.
Ryan Cully still struggling to find the zone early in at-bats. Tito Flores, a very important out if the Rivets can get him here. A guy that's been tough to sit down all year for Rockford pitchers.
There's a line drive into left, a long run for Connor Goodman, and it's over his head all the way to the wall. Flores will cruise into second. It's a leadoff double for the sophomore from Michigan.
Yeah, really good piece of hitting there from Flores. The Rockford outfielder is not playing too deep early on. Just barely slipped over the head of Connor Goodman. Probably needed about 2 more steps to make that play. Maybe the lack of familiarity with the field coming into play there for the Rivets left fielder.
So Michael Steigels comes to the plate with a chance to give his team the lead. Knotted at 3, bottom of the third. Steigels had a fielder's choice his last time. Lefty on righty, and the first delivery in there for a called strike. A fastball splits the plate, and it's 0-1. Tito Flores, you mentioned that he's been a tough out. He's riding a 15-game on-base streak, and now he's got 11 multi-hit games this season. So he's been hot lately. The set at the belt from Cully, and the 0-1, swing and a miss. He took something off, probably a changeup there, and it's 0-2. We saw a lot of strikeouts from Cully in his last outing, 5 of them, so not a ton, but more than his total tonight, 0. Not a lot of swings and misses.
Yeah, we've seen a lot of plate discipline from Traverse City.
Something they're very good at.
Yeah, the strikes they are seeing, they've barreled up quite well.
Flores dances around at second, and the 0-2 is a fastball that misses high, 1-2. Party in the USA blaring over the Turtle Creek Stadium speakers. A classic. We'll see if it fires up Ryan Cully for the 1-2 pitch. Breaking ball misses inside. Guess the song didn't work, and it's 2-2.
Yeah, once again with that breaking ball, we're seeing a trend that we saw a lot of last week. Can't seem to locate the curveball near the bottom of the zone. A lot of them coming in either high or just barely slipping in for a strike on the upper half of the zone.
Big 2-2 pitch coming up. It's on the way. Reached and poked foul down the right field line and out of play. So we'll do it again. Cully has gotten in a lot of long battles this game. He's up to 44 pitches.
Nearly everyone available for manager JT Scara in the pen today, minus lefty Jared Herzog, who is on his second day of required rest after his appearance 2 days ago.
Long pause from Cully. And another 2-2. Breaking ball misses and kicks away from Monque. He can't find the baseball. Now he tracks it down. But Tito Flores moves to third without any trouble. The go-ahead run is now 90 feet away for the Pittsbitters.
And this would be as good a time as any for Ryan Cully to pick up his first strikeout. Got to get that first out on the board with the runner on third here.
Infield.
Exactly the point of that hit and run there. Josue Urdaneta moving towards second base. Trey Younger hitting it off to his right as Urdaneta moves to his left to try and tag Steigels. It also gets Steigels a first to third, a move from first to third on what was a fairly weak ground ball compared to some of the other ones we've seen tonight.
Still no outs as Christian Faust steps in. First pitch to the righty. Fastball kicks away from Monke, and here comes Steigels in to score from third base. Trey Younger is going to try to go first to third, and the Rivets have him caught in no man's land. The throw goes to second as he tried to retreat, and his slide was short. So the second baseman, Bannon, tags him out. Down is in time to get him. Joaquin Monke hoses him down, so 2 caught stealing in this inning. And there's 2 down.
And I believe that's the first 2 runners caught stealing for Joaquin Monke this year. Hasn't seen a lot of movement on the base paths against him in his 2 starts at catcher this year.
So the bases are empty for Cruz Taylor now in a 2-0 count. And here's the pitch. And it just glanced his elbow guard, according to Connor McKenzie, the home plate umpire. So that sends him down to first, and now 5 straight batters have reached. Top of the 4th inning, and the Rivets now trail Traverse City 5-3 here in Michigan. A tough 3rd inning for Ryan Cully. He did not retire a batter. However, Joaquin Monke retired 3 base runners, catching them stealing, and now Monke will lead off the top of the 4th. Left-handed pitcher, right-hand batter, and the first pitch from Ryland Tinsley is a fastball that catches the outside corner. It's 0-1.
Yeah, Monke, a guy that's extremely fresh for the Rivets, has gotten a number of days off, got the All-Star break, and a couple days after that as well.
The 0-1 misses low, 1-1. I talked to him about that, and I asked him what he did over the All-Star break. He said, I worked out, I lifted every day, caught some bullpens, just getting ready. Not every Rivets player did that. The 1-1 ties up Monke, a breaking ball that misses on the turf, but he swings through it. Can't hold up a check swing, and it's 1-2.
Yeah, a lot of guys took the break to get away from baseball, just get a few days to kind of reset mentally. But Monke, a late arrival, did come out to the field a couple times to get some work in.
1-2, fastball bounced, that time taken, and it's 2-2.
Joaquin Monke, one of a couple guys on this Rivets roster that is coming off injury this year, trying to work back from that, get as many swings in as possible.
Slow breaking ball misses outside, and the count is full. Monke walked his first time and came around to score in the 2nd inning when the Rivets scored all 3 of their runs. Here's the payoff. Misses down and outside, and that's ball 4. 2 walks for Joaquin Monke, the freshman from South Florida, to start his day, and the Rivets have a little something going to start the 4th, trailing 5-3 to their Great Lakes East rival. Rockford has lost 10 straight to the Pittsburghers. Here's Connor Goodman with Monke on first base, lefty on lefty in the first pitch. In there for a called strike, fastball splits the plate, 0-1. Goodman had an RBI single in the 2nd inning, coming through with his first hit as a Rivet. Couldn't have come at a better time. Here's the 0-1, 2-seamer tails too far, 1-1. Monke not a threat to steal a base here, but still being held by Jake Arnold. And the 1-1 offering, slider misses down and away, 2 balls, 1 strike.
Yeah, you say Monke not much of a threat to steal a base, and I would agree with you. However, nowadays, if you can get the right jump, speed is not as important as it used to be. You used to have these guys that are just fast, and that's how they made their offense.
2-1 misses high, and it's 3-1. Hitters count for Goodman.
But nowadays, you can see guys of average to slightly above average speed nabbing bases left and right just off of smart jumps and impressive jumps.
3-1, grounded to second base, could be 2. Camilletti to second for 1. The relay from Faust over the head of Arnold, just past the Rivets dugout. Goodman dives into second base safely. Good throw from Adam Proctor, who backed up the play, but Goodman is safe at second base. That'll be an error on Christian Faust. The Rivets have a runner in scoring position, so not the worst outcome there.
Yeah, effectively a sacrifice bunt there for the Rivets, moving from runner on first with no outs to runner on second with 1 out. Probably would prefer Goodman as that runner over Moncay too. So a few positives to take away from a less than impressive play.
Josue Urdaneta walks into the batter's box to the Barney theme song, or at least one of them. Barney the purple dinosaur, of course. First pitch to Urdaneta, breaking ball misses low, blocked by Proctor. So that keeps Goodman at second base. It's 1-0. Rivets trail 5-3. Lots of early action in this one. Both pitchers struggling a little bit with command and otherwise.
Yeah, with a lefty here on the mound, Urdaneta might square to bunt, especially with the speed he has coming out of the box.
Tinsley turns and looks back. Goodman at second base. Won't surprise me. We've seen Urdaneta try and drop down some bunts for hits. One wouldn't hurt here. Here's the 1-0. Fastball runs inside. 2-0.
Given some of the weapons they have, it's a bit surprising that Rockford doesn't utilize the bunt more than they have, especially when you look at teams like Kenosha, who we saw the past few days, and Traverse City that almost utilize it more than you would expect, especially in some more unconventional scenarios.
Urdaneta squares to bunt there, but pulls back and watches a strike. It's 2-1. Right on cue. A clairvoyant, Ethan Blake.
You say that, but when Ryan Cully was on the mound last week, he did not fail to inform me that I was 0 for 3 on my pitch predictions pre-at-bat.
2-1 misses low. Throw down to second base from Proctor. Sails a little far past the bag. Camilletti sprints back there to make the snag. An aggressive throw from Proctor. Almost got into center. 3-1 count on Urdaneta now. Predicting pitches is never an easy job to do. However, sometimes you just got to give it your best stab. Try and sound educated for the fans at home.
Yeah, and honestly, if I'm predicting our guys' pitches and I'm incorrect, it's probably good because they're keeping them off guard.
3-1 popped up, and Adam Proctor can't make the grab behind the plate. That one right in front of the net, almost got over. Proctor slid on the turf, and it glanced off of his glove, and he let off an expletive.
Yeah, I thought for sure that was going to get out of play. It would have been an extremely impressive play from Adam Proctor. Those high fly balls that stay around the home plate area are always tough to read. A lot of weird angles and other factors that come into play there.
We saw Proctor drop a ball in Rockford, I believe, behind home plate. He's an emotional guy. Here's the payoff pitch to Urdaneta. Swung on and lifted into shallow right field. Zeb Roos comes on and makes the catch. Goodman fakes towards third. He stops at second base, and that's out number 2. And that brings up the top of the order and Daniel Cantu. Rivets trailing 5-3 in the top of the 4th.
Yeah, we've seen a couple interesting plays involving catchers in Rockford. We had Angelo Cantello from the Kenosha Kingfish trip up going after a ball just 2 days ago, and the week before we had Ben Lavorsi from the Kokomo Jackrabbits trip up going after a ball.
Interesting trends. Lefty on lefty. First pitch to Daniel Cantu. Fastball misses high above the letters. Cantu is 0 for 2. Working to extend a long on-base streak. Now 15 games. Tinsley has the sign. Comes set above the letters. Here's the 1-0. Breaking ball misses inside. A good pitch, but outside of the zone, and it's 2-0.
Yeah, definitely a great spot for that pitch. Kind of keep Daniel Cantu guessing. It's always important for pitchers to work inside, especially when it's a same-side batter like a lefty on a lefty, because that can be something that's really difficult, and hitters try to take advantage of that and pressure the pitcher to do so.
Tinsley tries to go outside with this pitch and misses. 3-0. Looks like a fastball there, and you're right about those inside pitches. Some pitchers are much better than others at it. Some pitchers are afraid to pitch inside, and of course, not a lot of good pitchers are afraid to pitch inside. Tinsley behind 3-0, and he pours in a fastball, 3-1. Cantu taking all the way. We've seen him swing 3-0 a few times this season, but not there. Still a hitter's count for him. Phil Matulia waits on deck if we get that far.
Pittsburgh's second baseman Mario Camilletti playing very deep in the hole.
Cantu swings and pops this one up. Behind home plate, now off to the first base side. The first baseman, Jake Arnold, ranges into foul territory and makes the grab above his cap to end the inning. The Rivets strain Connor Goodman on second base and can't capitalize on another runner in scoring position. They still trail 5-3, headed to the bottom of the fourth on the Rockford Rivets Baseball Network. Bottom of the fourth inning in Traverse City, Michigan. The Rivets trail the Traverse City Pittsburghers 5-3. Lots of early action. The Pittsburghers have scored in 3 straight innings to open this ball game. 2 in the first, 1 in the second, and 3 in the third. All the Rivets runs coming in the second inning. Ryan Cully is back out there for the fourth to try and right the ship. He'll face 8-9-1, starting with Jake Arnold in the first pitch. It's taken outside, a fastball, and it's 1-0.
Yeah, the Rivets not unfamiliar with early runs on the board, with giving up early runs on the board.
The 1-0 swung on and popped up on the infield to the right side. Brandon Bannon backpedals and makes the grab with 2 hands. That's out number 1.
However, on that point, what they have yet to see, and a trend that has plagued them as well, is a big inning, with the Pittsburghers putting up no more than 2 runs in their 3 innings so far. Maybe a good sign in what has been kind of a tough start for Rockford.
Rivets trailing by 2 here. They've continued to struggle in the early innings. Here's Adam Proctor with the bases empty. Lefty on lefty, and the first pitch drops in there. Breaking ball, it's 0-1. Proctor laid down a sacrifice bunt with 2 strikes his first time. It was a good one. Moved runners up to second and third. Cully winds and deals. Fastball misses outside. It's 1-1. This ball game started sunny at Turtle Creek Stadium, then clouds rolled over, and you can see them moving across the horizon. Some dark, some light. Here's the 1-1. Off speed misses outside. Proctor, the catcher, with a good eye, and it's 2-1. Couldn't ask for a better night for baseball to kick off a 4-game road trip for the Rivets. 2-1 pitch. Another breaking ball, again misses outside. It's 3 balls and 1 strike.
Yeah, absolutely. We've been lucky with weather this year. I was talking to Rivets shortstop Brody Harding earlier, just how surprised we were to have only had 1 rainout this whole season.
Here's the 3-1. Breaking ball in there for a called strike 2 on the back door. It's full. And I don't know if you remember this, but the 1 rainout the Rivets had, it didn't actually rain. The sun came out on the bus ride back to the hotel. Here's the payoff pitch. It misses low, and Adam Proctor draws a 1-out walk. In the bottom of the 4th inning, Pittsburghers lead 5-3. Here's the top of the order in Zeb Roos. Trivia question for you. Can you name where that rainout happened?
I thought it was in Battle Creek.
Yes, sir. That's always a good guess.
Yeah. Especially given enough turf. We've played Lakeshore this year, obviously within our subdivision, Kokomo and Traverse City. And obviously I've been in attendance for every game in Rockford and have yet to see a rainout.
First pitch to Roos, a fastball paints the inside corner, taken for a called strike 1. Roos had an RBI ground out his last time in the 2nd inning. Walked and scored in the 1st. A double play could end the frame. Cully desperately needs an efficient inning. It's up to 63 pitches. He sets at the belt, gives a look at Proctor, and delivers the 0-1. Fastball sails high, 1-1. Rivets Stadium field has held up well to rain. Then again, it has not rained a whole lot in Rockford this summer. A little bit of a drought, you could say.
No, but that field at Rivets Stadium
Turns just do it.
definitely helps the process, though, to have more bodies.
Certainly. 3-1, misses low. That's back-to-back walks issued by Ryan Cully with 1 out here in the bottom of the 4th.
I will say, though, Larry, I haven't seen you out there pulling the tarp yet this year. You're typically hiding away in the press box.
Let's not point fingers now. Mario Camilletti climbs to the plate. He's 0 for 2. Rivets trail 5-3, 2 on with 1 out. Camilletti just about as good of an on-base percentage as you'll see. .529 mark. If the players are going to pull the tarp, I'm not going to go get myself all dampened up. Got to look good for the camera, you know. If you're in the broadcast booth, maybe you could pull that same card. The one game you were in the booth for, it was nice and sunny.
Yeah, I've been lucky so far. I had a couple good games weather-wise. Hoping to see a few more this road trip.
Lefty on lefty matchup here. Camilletti in an open stance in the first pitch to him. Tails too far outside. It's 1-0.
I'm a bit surprised we haven't seen a mound visit from Doug Coe or Joaquin Monquet, just to kind of give Cully a second to breathe.
Cully sets at the letters, trying not to dig a deeper hole. He fires the 1-0. That one drops too far outside. 2 balls, no strikes. And you're right. Seems like any moment now we could see somebody pop out of that dugout or Monquet trot out there, but We just have not seen it. This is a prime situation for it. Rivets trailing by just 2, but could get a lot worse, and you don't have a lot of margin for error tonight or the rest of the season. Here's the kick in the 2-0. Curveball misses high, nowhere close, and it's 3-0.
Looking out to right field, Eli Sanchez has slowed up, but is still throwing off the rubber. Presumably ready to go in the game, just staying loose and waiting for the call.
Cully up to 70 pitches now. Fastball called strike 1 right down the heart. You got to be careful against Camilletti, though, because if you leave anything out over the heart of the plate for him, he can really drive it. He's also got a great eye, 43 walks. Here comes the 3-1. That one drops too far outside, and Camilletti is aboard. 3 straight walks for Ryan Cully.
Yeah, talking about that fastball to Camilletti, the old unwritten standard of no swings on 3-0 has started to vanish from today's game. The pitchers are getting better, so hitters are going to take anything they can and try to drive it, do some damage.
Here comes JT Scara, and he will make the call to the bullpen. Elijah Sanchez is going to come on with the bases loaded and 1 out. In the bottom of the 4th inning, Rivets already trailing by 2, trying to prevent that lead from burgeoning for Traverse City. We'll step aside and be right back on the Rockford Rivets Baseball Network. Sign a big 1-2 pitch coming up to the sophomore from Michigan, Tito, to Ryan Cully. Sanchez looks in for the sign, righty on righty here. First pitch to Michael Steigels. Misses inside, 1-0.
Sanchez, a guy that gets a lot of fly balls. Not the best possible result you could have gotten in that first at-bat, but definitely one that gets a job done. Hopefully can get Rockford back in the dugout to get their swings in.
The kick in the 1-0, misses inside, 2 balls, no strikes. Sun starting to peek through the clouds here in Traverse City. 8:42 p.m. in the Eastern Time Zone. Plenty of sunlight to be had. Sanchez lets his arm hang, comes set at the chest, comes home with a 2-0. Fastball misses outside, 3 balls and no strikes, and now he's a pitch away from reloading the bases. Zeb Ruse on second, Mario Camilletti on first. Both runners dance, and the 3-0 pitch called strike as you hear the shout from Connor McKenzie. 3-1. Sanchez rocking the black and gold stirrups as he almost always does. Here's the 3-1, misses low, ball 4, and they're loaded again with 2 outs. Already 1 run in with no outs, or with no hits. There are 2 outs. So Elijah Sanchez just a pitch away from getting out of this inning relatively unscathed, but Walks on walks on walks, killing the Rivets.
Yeah, really tough scoreboard to look at for anyone in a Rockford uniform right now. Yet to see a 0 on the Pit Spitters side of the board.
First pitch to Trey Younger, popped into shallow right. Phil Matulia coming on fast, and that one drops between Bannon and Matulia. Zabru scores. Camilletti behind him. The throw gets away, but both runners stay put. Steingles up to second base. Trey Younger with an RBI single. He's now got 3 RBIs on a 3-for-3 night for the freshman from Wofford. It's now 8-3, and it's getting ugly here in the 4th.
Yeah, really awkward read there for Bannon and Matulia. Seems like no one really wanted to call that ball, and ultimately no one was able to catch that ball.
Well, you don't want a collision there, but somebody's got to make the play.
Yeah, the Rivets were almost afforded a lucky break, as Michael Steigels, coming off first base, did not run on contact.
First pitch to Christian Faust, misses outside. It's 1-0.
A good throw to Josue Ordaneta there would have gotten Steigels out on the force out and thus canceled out the 2 runs that came in on the play.
That would have been nice, but it doesn't count. And the 1-0 is lashed into the left center field gap. Long run for Tyler Hawkins, and he tracks it down mid-sprint to end the inning. But Traverse City scores for the 4th consecutive inning to start this ball game. 3 runs come in to score after Ryan Cully walked the bases loaded. It's now 8-3 Traverse City on the Rockford Rivets Baseball Network. Traverse City has scored in 4 innings to start this ball game, most recently 3 in the bottom of the 4th inning. They now lead 8-3 over Rockford, and they hand the lead to their bullpen. Morgan Lunsford, the high school senior headed to the University of San Diego, is on.
Yeah, Lunsford already made 5 starts this year. Pretty impressive for a high school senior in a league that is majority college players. Currently holds a 3.13 ERA. Another guy that works mostly off balls in play. Not a ton of walks, not a ton of strikeouts.
Phil Matulia swings at the first pitch and fouls it off, 0-1. 2-3-4 due up for the Screws here in the 5th as they look to start playing comeback. Matulia 0 for 2. Lunsford working from the windup and delivers the 0-1. Swung on and popped up to the right side. Shallow right field. Camilletti backpedals into right and makes the grab, hopping a little bit towards the right fielder, Zeb Ruse. And that's out number 1. We saw a similar play like that in the bottom of the 4th inning, and it cost the Rivets as it dropped between the second baseman, Bannon, and Matulia.
Yeah, Camilletti seemed confident in that play the whole time, but made it
3 in the top of the 5th.
Yeah, Wade Elliott didn't really pick up on that pitch early enough. Kind of got out in front of it. Went all forearms for that one. High pop-up to shallow left field.
The Rivets in desperate need of a response. Big game to start this huge 4-game road trip. First pitch misses inside to Tyler Hawkins. The redshirt freshman from Louisville is 1 for 1, a single and a walk. He's had a good day. We'll see if he can continue it here.
I think a more selective approach is really going to help Tyler Hawkins, not only in drawing walks, but also getting better pitches to hit, trying to work that average up as this season starts to come to a close.
He takes a breaking ball for a called strike 1. 1 ball, 1 strike. Rivets with 5 hits, 1 error, 3 runs. Traverse City 8 runs on 7 hits, 2 errors. Lunsford gives a look at Bushnell and tosses the 1-1. Breaking ball misses low, knocked down by Proctor. It's 2 balls and 1 strike.
Yeah, great game so far for Adam Proctor. Hasn't allowed anything to slip by it. Has allowed a couple stolen bases, but those pass balls and those wild pitches can really be killers.
Lunsford looks in for the sign. He's got it. And here comes the 2-1. Fastball misses below the knees, just beyond the strike zone, a little bit low. 3 balls and 1 strike. If you're Hawkins here, sitting fastball?
Yeah, I would say he probably is sitting fastball, but going to be very selective here. May draw his 2nd walk of the game.
It'll be the first time he's done that all season. Here's the 3-1. Fastball paints the outside corner. Hawkins took a step towards first, but the count is full.
Yeah, a lot of guys like to take that inside-out approach, like early on in the counts, no strikes or other hitters' counts, you're looking for balls inside, and then once it gets late, you kind of expand your zone. So that
Bottom of the 5th inning in Traverse City, Michigan. Rivets trailing the Pittsburghers 8-3. They've lost 10 straight against Traverse City, dating back to 2019. First game of a 4-game road trip. Rivets 4 games out of first place in the Great Lakes East. Elijah Sanchez is going to start this inning. His first full out of the bullpen after he took over for Ryan Cully, whose line is now final. He surrendered 8 runs, 7 of them were earned.
Yeah, I mentioned this last inning. Sanchez could be out here for another inning or 2.
First pitch to Cruz Taylor in there for a called strike.
These Northwoods League managers always looking to preserve their pitching staffs. You never know when you're going to need to go through 4 or 5 arms in a day, so when you can keep it to 2 or 3, it's very important.
Swinging a sharp ground ball down to first base. Cantu gloves it and calls off Elijah Sanchez to take the bag himself. And that is out number 1 in the bottom of the 5th. Nice play there by Cantu.
Yeah, probably not used to seeing some ground balls that hot over there. Infield grass at Lonnie's Field really slows it down. Can give you some ugly hops, though. Cantu fell victim to that just last night on the first batter of the game.
Sanchez winds and delivers the first pitch to Jake Arnold. It misses inside. 1 ball and no strikes. Rivets trailing 8-3. Jake Arnold has reached once tonight on a fielder's choice. Here's the 1-0. Fastball splits the plate, taken for a called strike 1 apiece. Beautiful evening for baseball in Michigan. I don't know about you, but this is one of my favorite places to go in the Northwoods League. Breaking ball nearly hits Arnold. He jumps out of the way, and it's 2 balls and 1 strike.
Yeah, I haven't gotten around to too many places, but definitely a huge fan of this place. The drive can be brutal, but once you get here, definitely feels worth it. I've been to
2-1, popped into shallow center. Long run for Tyler.
ourselves a couple. Let's get a good look at the fans.
Maybe a chance at a foul ball as well. We saw one bounce below us earlier. Here's the 1-2 offering. Swing and a miss. Sanchez got him, and it's a 1-2-3 frame for the right-hander from NIU. And Traverse City is kept off the scoreboard for the first time tonight. Score holds 8-3 Pitt Spitters on the Rockford Rivets Baseball Network. Sixth inning in Traverse City, Michigan. 8-3 Pitt Spitters over the Rivets. Traverse City scoring in each of the first 4 innings to grab this big lead. Plenty of time for the Rivets to come back, though, and they'll try to get something going against Morgan Lunsford. Using 6, 7, 8 in the order, starting with Brandon Bannon, who's 0 for 2. Righty on righty in the first pitch. A fastball tails inside. It's 1-0. 20 games remain in the regular season. The Rivets 4 games out of a playoff spot, but they'll play 2 teams ahead of them on this road trip. 1-0, misses high, 2-0. Traverse City is one of them, and then the first place Jackrabbits await the Rivets on Monday and Tuesday in Indiana. 2-0 in there for a called strike from Lunsford. Wind blowing out to center field now. Swing and a miss from Bannon. Quickly back even. Joaquin Monque waits on deck. Beautiful night for baseball, and the fans have come out a little bit here on this Saturday night. Here's the 2-2. Swing and a miss, and Lunsford sets down Brandon Bannon on strikes to start the top of the 6th. Rivets trail 8-3, and here's Joaquin Monque with nobody on.
Hopefully we'll get to see the bat off the shoulder of Joaquin Monque for the first time tonight.
And it does indeed come off his shoulder as he offers at the first pitch and fouls it off. Monque, 2 walks.
Maybe a chance for him to take advantage of that wind shift. Going out to dead center, you almost wonder how that would have affected the fly ball by Kevin Bushnell.
The 0-1 misses low, 1-1 on Monque.
Maybe wouldn't have put it out, but possibly could have put it off the wall, and an awkward bounce turns that from a double to a triple.
1-1 swung on and popped up to the right side of the infield and foul ground. The first baseman, Jake Arnold, runs it down and makes the grab for a quick out number 2. A Kevin Bushnell triple. I don't know if we'll see that this summer. Big guy.
This is the place to do it, especially on a ball like that to center field. Might have to put one off the batter's eye here.
It's true, could happen. First pitch to Connor Goodman in there for a called strike. A fastball splits the plate. Goodman is 1 for 2, an RBI single and a fielder's choice. Rivets trail by 5. The kick in the 0-1. Breaking ball misses outside. 1 ball. I want to give a quick shout out to one of our camera operators at Rivets Stadium, TJ Whitmer. He chimed in earlier on Twitter. Here's the 1-1, a little grounder down the third base line, and that one hops over the bag, fair. It looked like that one was going to roll foul. Tito Flores just let that one bounce, and it's ruled fair by the home plate umpire, Connor McKenzie, so Connor Goodman is aboard.
Yeah, really no way to play that ball except to just watch it. Flores doing what you would expect him to do in that situation, but Goodman gets a tiny chopper there to clip third base and gets an easy infield single.
We'll see if the Rivets can turn it into something. They trail 8-3. Josue Urdaneta climbs in now. He's 1 for 2. Had an RBI single in the 2nd inning. But we were talking about pulling tarp earlier. And Ethan, of course, pointed a finger at me and said, hey, I've never seen you pull tarp. First pitch to Urdaneta, in there for a called strike 1 with a fastball, 0-1. TJ tweeted at us and said, I never pull tarp because I'm on the roof operating a camera. I think that's a valid excuse to not pull tarp.
Yeah, and those roof angles are really important to our broadcast. Gets a lot of good shots of the stadium there.
0-1 runs up and in. Urdaneta dances out of the batter's box, 1-1. That is a critical camera to the broadcast because, of course, after the ball leaves the bat, you need a camera to get all the action. It's kind of the pseudo eyes from the press box, if you will. For a radio broadcast, no cameras needed. My favorite part. Here's the 1-1, swing and a miss on a ball on the turf. Goodman takes off for second. He's going to slide in safely. The throw from Proctor was late. But it's 1-2 on Josue.
Yeah, it must have been a hit and run there because I don't expect a swing and miss that bad from Josue Urdaneta unless he's in a situation where he is 100% swinging.
It's a good point. The Rivets like to put those moves on sometimes. Morgan Lunsford, high school senior, letting the right arm hang, comes set belt. And deals the 1-2. Swung on and tapped down to first base, gloved by Arnold, and he'll take it to the bag himself for out number 3. Connor Goodman stranded on second base, and the Rivets can't do anything with another runner in scoring position They still trail 8-3, headed to the bottom of the 6th on the Rockford Rivets Baseball Network. Traverse City Pittsbitters 8, Rockford Rivets 3, headed to the bottom of the 6th inning. First game of a big 4-game road trip. Rivets playing 2 teams that are trailing in the standings, 4 games out of playoff contention. Elijah Sanchez out for his 3rd inning of relief work. He'll face the top of the order, starting with Zeb Ruse, righty on righty. And the first pitch is swung on and lifted foul off to the right side and out of play. 0-1.
Yeah, one thing about Turtle Creek Stadium, a lot of foul territory, more so than we see in Rockford. We've already seen a couple plays from Jake Arnold of the Pittsbitters over by the Rivets dugout.
Sanchez working from the windup, and the 0-1 is fouled straight back to the screen. And it's 0-2. JT Scara, the Rivets manager, out to retrieve that foul ball. Not every day you see that. He fires it over to the Pittsbitters dugout. He doesn't look too happy. The 0-2 swung on and popped up to the right side of the infield and fair ground this time. And the second baseman, Brandon Bannon, makes the grab to put away Zeb Ruse for out number 1 in the bottom of the 6th.
We do see a little bit of movement out in the Rockford pen. Presumably not for this inning unless there is a serious jam. It's right-hander Ross Thompson, who would be making his first relief appearance of the year.
Outside of the All-Star game, of course. That doesn't count. Mario Camilletti comes up with the bases empty. He walked and scored in the 4th inning. First pitch from Sanchez. Swung on and lashed foul. 0-1. Rivets trail 8-3. Traverse City scoring 2 in the 1st, 1 in the 2nd, 2 in the 3rd, 3 in the 4th. All 3 Rivets runs scoring in the 2nd inning. Sanchez kicks and deals. Liner into left, sends Goodman back, and he camps under it and makes the grab for out number 2. And Elijah Sanchez is cruising right along.
Yeah, he does really well in these middle inning scenarios. He's come in both in cleanup duty and in high leverage situations. The Rivets could be facing a 5-run deficit or holding a 5-run lead. And Sanchez has really done a good job coming in and getting key outs in the 4th, 5th, 6th inning.
Base is empty for Tito Flores. who had an RBI on a sacrifice fly his last time up. Righty on righty. Sanchez delivers. In there for a called strike, off speed. Looked like the changeup. 0-1. Tito Flores walks up to a song, I believe, entitled Wine, Beer, Whiskey. It's a country song where it names all sorts of name brands of alcohol. The 0-1 runs up and in, and it clips Flores on the shoulder. Scary play there. He's all right, and Tito reaches first base. But he clips it up so where the part of the song that plays is my friend named Tito, he's my amigo, plays over the speakers. And of course, Tito is a brand of vodka. Not exactly a PG walk-up song, I suppose, but gets the job done for Flores. He's on first base, and the first pitch to Michael Steigels is grounded to shortstop. Throw from Urdaneta is in time to end the inning. Elijah Sanchez works around a hit by pitch, records another scoreless inning. It's still 8-3, headed to the 7th on the Rockford Rivets Baseball Network. Top of the 7th inning in Traverse City. Rivets trail 8-3. New pitcher on for the Pittsbitters as the top of the order comes up. And Daniel Cantu. Anthony Ramirez will take the ball. Righty on lefty, and the first pitch to Cantu. Swung on and fouled off down the left field line. Ethan Blake, tell us about Anthony Ramirez.
Yeah, Ramirez, a sophomore from Cal State Stanislaus. Made 13 relief appearances this year. Already has 3 wins for Traverse City. Just 19 innings so far, but 16 Ks in those 19 innings and a very respectable 2.84 ERA. So obviously a guy that the Pittsbitters go to a lot to put up some zeros.
The 0-1 misses outside. Here comes the 1-1, swung on and popped up behind home plate. And that one bounces on the roof of the suites that we currently occupy. And it's strike 2. Daniel Cantu is 0 for 3 tonight, a rarity as of late. The redshirt freshman from South Florida has been spectacular for Rockford. Not a spectacular night for the Rivets, though. Ramirez winds and deals. Breaking ball misses low, 2-2. Thanks for joining us on this beautiful night for baseball in Michigan. Rockford has lost 10 straight against Traverse City. 2-2 to Cantu. Liner right at the second baseman, Camilletti, who is shifted. He throws in time to first base, and that's out number 1. Score at 4-3. Rivets trailing by 5. Bases empty for Phil Matulia. A pinch hitter. Johannes Hawkinson into the game for Matulia, and that's a concerning sign, I suppose. Johannes Hawkinson, the former Traverse City Pit spitter. Played the first month of the season here, righty on righty. In the first pitch, breaking ball misses inside, 1-0.
Yeah, we want to assume the best. Hopefully, just a situation where Phil Matulia, obviously, has played every game since the All-Star break, played in the All-Star game, played a lot of games leading up to the All-Star break, maybe just getting half a game off here before maybe a full off day tomorrow.
Or maybe no off day tomorrow. Who knows?
It's possible.
2-0 to Hawkinson. Swinging a line drive into left field. Trey Younger shades towards the line and makes the grab. Looked good off the bat. Result, not so much. It's 2 quick outs for Anthony Ramirez.
Yeah, a bit unfortunate we didn't get to see Phil Matulia there, as we were talking about walk-up songs last inning. These guys get very creative with their walk-up songs. Phil Matulia has a Houston-themed walk-up song. He is from Houston. And one of the first lines you hear is "Texas tatted on my arm." And recently, Phil Matulia did get a new tattoo on his arm featuring, when you look at it one way, the area code for Houston, Texas, and the other way for Ruston, Louisiana, home of Louisiana Tech. Very creative, very cool tattoo.
1-0 to Kevin Bushnell, misses outside. Quickly 2-0. On the Rivets' third batter, he's 1 for 3 with a double. I saw that fresh ink on him, and he really didn't tell me what it was about. 2-0s, big hack and a miss, and it's 2 balls and 1 strike on Bushnell. And he got that ink when he got back from Rockford, when he got back to Rockford from the All-Star game. Here's the 2-1, misses high. But him and Ross Thompson were going to get tattoos together in Mankato at the All-Star game. So it really must have been a spiritual experience up there in Minnesota. Here's the 3-1. Swung on and popped over our heads, out of play.
I have been told that Tucker Chalet, the Rivets' third All-Star, will also be getting a tattoo at some point before the end of the season. Not completely sure what direction he wants to go, but he does have some ideas.
Here's the payoff pitch to Kevin Bushnell. Swinging a ground ball, sharply hit, backhanded by Faust at shortstop. The throw to first in time, and Bushnell takes a tumble past the first base bag. What a play by the shortstop, Christian Faust. And it's a 1-2-3 7th inning. Rivets are set down in order again, and they trail 8-3 at stretch time in Traverse City.
Oh.
The 7th inning stretch has been sung at Turtle Creek Stadium with the Rivets trailing 8-3 to their Great Lakes East rival, Traverse City. This one started promising for the Rivets, who had a 3-2 lead in the 2nd inning, but Traverse City scored in 4 straight innings to start this ball game. 2 in the first, 1 in the second, 2 in the third, 3 in the fourth to gain some separation. Ryan Cully, a bad start, 3 1/3, allowing all 8 of those runs. Elijah Sanchez has been good out of the bullpen. He sticks with it. And Trey Younger lines the first pitch into center field. Tyler Hawkins moves back on it, makes the grab above his head for out number 1.
Yeah, an unfortunate start here for the City, giving up runs in the first 4 frames. But if we've learned one thing about this Rockford squad, it's that the game is not over until the 27th out. A number of comeback wins for the Rivets this year, and they will need this one tonight.
The game is never over until the final out is recorded. You got that right. First pitch to Christian Faust. Misses inside. It's 1-0. Faust is 1 for 3 tonight with a single that came back in the 3rd inning. Sanchez winds and delivers. Fastball zips inside. 2-0.
Talking about Sanchez's return to the mound, the action in the Rivets bullpen has ceased. It appears this is Eli Sanchez's game.
2-0, fastball misses high. It's 3-0. Don't speak so fast now. As soon as you say that, Sanchez starts to fall behind.
It's a good point. It's a good point. Keep me in check.
For the record, I really don't believe in jinxes.
Oh, but I do. I absolutely do.
Most baseball folks do. Here's the 3-0. Runs inside. 4-pitch walk issued to Christian Faust. Here in the bottom of the 7th, Rivets trail 8-3. Cruz Taylor has reached twice, and he comes up to the plate now. He singled and scored in the 2nd, was hit with a pitch in the 3rd, and then grounded out to first base sharply in the 5th. Ethan Blake joining me in the booth tonight. Good to have him. First time I've not been talking to myself for a road game. First pitch in there. Fastball splits the plate. 0-1 to Taylor.
Yeah, I'll always take an opportunity to come up here with the team to Northern Michigan. Great stadium here. And the bus rides aren't half bad either. We have a good bit of fun.
A lot of sleeping was done this morning. Here's the 0-1 as the runner goes. Pitch in there for a called strike. Throw down, gets into center field. But Brandon Bannon was backing it up, so Christian Faust picks up his 18th stolen base of the summer. Runner into scoring position. Some probably not much needed insurance for Traverse City now waiting on second base.
Yeah, definitely a lot of sleeping on the bus this morning.
I have, and as much as these baseball players have, you'll find a way to get some sleep in. I know JT Scara sleeps on the floor, as do a lot of guys.
Yeah, a number of players sleeping on the floor today, almost amazed to get back to the bathroom.
Fastball runs inside. It's 2-0 on Arnold. He had to climb over some seats. Hope he didn't drink coffee before he got on the bus. We'll leave it at that. Sanchez working from the left side of the rubber. 2-0. Misses high, 3 balls, no strikes. Lights shining down on the all-artificial turf surface of Turtle Creek Stadium. Beautiful night for baseball in northwestern Michigan. Rivets trail by 5. Elijah Sanchez with the runner on second base, trying to keep it here. And the 3-0 is grounded down to first base. And Daniel Cantu scoops it up, trots to first, and the inning is over. Another 0 on the line for Elijah Sanchez. He's been the highlight of the game for the Rivets, stranding a runner in scoring position here in the 7th. And the score remains Traverse City 8, Rivets 3. Headed to the 8th on the Rockford Rivets Baseball Network. Headed to the 8th inning in Traverse City, Michigan. Rivets trailing the Traverse City Pittsbitters 8-3. Lots of offense early, not so much as of late. Rivets will try to get something going against Anthony Ramirez in his second inning of work. First pitch to Wade Elliott. Fastball runs inside, taken for ball one. Elliott is 1 for 3 with a double. That came back in the third. The Rivets scoring all 3 of their runs in the second inning. Traverse City scoring in 4 straight to start the game. The 1-0 sharply grounded down to third base, gobbled up by Flores. He steps and throws in time for out number 1 to start the 8th. So here is Tyler Hawkins. A hit, a walk, and a ground out to his name tonight. Brandon Bannon waits on deck. Rivets just need a spark, Ethan. And then some.
Yeah, the offense has been stifled since that second inning.
Really, ball in there for a called strike.
Really looked promising. I mean, they were stringing a few hits together. Bottom of the order was coming through big. They took the lead early.
The wind in the 0-1. Breaking ball. Hit well down the left field line. Long run for Younger, and he's not going to get there, but it bounces foul.
That could have been the ball to do it. Big fly ball down the line. Easily would have been an extra base hit for a guy with Hawkins' speed. Would have put the Rivets in a really good situation to at least put a run on the board.
But instead, Hawkins is behind 0-2, and the pitch from Ramirez is on the way. Fastball sails high, 1-2. This is not how you want to start this road trip. 2 games here in Traverse City, 2 games against the first place Jackrabbits. The longest road trip in terms of mileage of the season. 1-2, curveball misses down and outside, 2 balls, 2 strikes. If you had to guess, Ethan, we'll play a little trivia.
Okay.
How many miles do you think the Rivets round trip is? Here's the kick and the 2-2. Breaking ball tapped foul. How long do you think the trip is in terms of miles from Rockford to Traverse City, from Traverse City to Kokomo, and Kokomo to Rockford?
I'll go with 1,134.
Not super far off. We'll get to the answer in a moment. Another 2-2, swing and a miss. Hawkins set down on strikes for out number 2. Rivets trail 8-3. Bases empty for Brandon Bannon in the top of the 8th. The answer, 968 miles.
See, I was gonna go under 1,000, but then when I really thought about it, I was thinking. I mean, after 6.5 hours up here today, it's gonna be another 5+ hours down to Kokomo on Monday.
First pitch to Brandon Bannon, misses high and outside, 1-0.
I thought I may have underestimated it, because that drive to Kokomo always is surprisingly longer than I would expect.
Next pitch swung on and popped up behind home plate. Adam Proctor sheds the mask and makes the play this time. He dropped one earlier but ends the inning this time. It's a 1-2-3 frame. Rivets have been retired 6 straight batters. We head to the bottom of the 8th. Traverse City 8, Rockford 3 on the Rockford Rivets Baseball Network. Bottom of the 8th inning at Turtle Creek Stadium. Traverse City Pittsburghers well out in front of the Rockford Rivets, on their way to their 11th consecutive victory over Rockford, a streak that dates back to 2019. By a score of 8-3, Brendan Lowry in the game for the Rivets. The left-hander takes the ball from Elijah Sanchez.
Yeah, Brendan Lowry, new addition to the team for the second half, has only made 4 appearances so far. Did throw a scoreless inning against Traverse City back on July 12th, but otherwise has had a less than ideal start to his Rivets career, currently sporting a 13.50 ERA in just 6 innings pitched. That's 9 runs with 8 walks and 7 strikeouts. A guy that's pretty deceptive, comes out of an awkward 3/4 slot from the left side, can really be a unique look for hitters coming out of the bullpen.
He'll face 2 lefties, starting with Adam Proctor, 9-1-2 due up. Mario Camilletti, the 2 batters, another lefty. Lowry from the windup and the first pitch. Fastball runs high, 1-0. Adam Proctor has reached once tonight, and he came around to score in the 4th inning on a walk. Lowry turns and delivers. Fastball zips too far outside, 2 balls, no strikes. This game has really not been entertaining since the 4th inning, frankly. The kick and the 2-0. Fastball finds the zone that time, 2 balls, 1 strike. Traverse City scored twice in the first, once in the second, twice in the third, 3 times in the 4th to break it open. All 3 of the Rivets runs coming in the 2nd inning. 2-1. And 1 slides too far outside. 3 balls and 1 strike. However, Ethan, we talked about it in between innings. We have been entertained by the between inning entertainment. 3-1 misses outside, and Proctor draws a 5-pitch walk to start the bottom of the 8th.
Yeah, well, definitely a lot of good entertainment between innings early on. In the first break, we saw both Traverse City players and Rockford players throwing water balloons into the stands at fans, with the ultimate goal being to break them and soak some of the fans. We saw a couple Rivets players, Tommy Benson, Johannes Hawkinson, playing target practice with a couple fans up in the suites, seeing if they could get it through the window.
First pitch to Zeb Ruse. Fastball splits the plate. It's 0-1.
We've also seen a number of baby pictures from Traverse City players and coaches in a like guess the player
guessing game. And the coach that was guessing for Traverse City was very accurate. Proctor not far from first in the 0-1, misses high.
Yeah,
ball, 1 strike.
I won't lie, I was a little suspect when out of nowhere he was pulling out. I mean, when you're playing this game, you've got 35 options, and he got 2 out of 3 correct. I was a little suspect. Thought there may be some foul play.
The 1-1 misses outside, taken for a ball. 2 balls, 1 strike on Ruse, who's reached twice on walks tonight.
And then this most recent inning, we watched an intense dizzy bat race. Couple fallen participants.
Breaking ball misses in the dirt. The runner goes. Throw down for Monkey. Gets away from the second baseman, Bannon. So Proctor moves into scoring position. Traverse City already leading 8-3. Ruse with the chance for his 2nd RBI of the night. He picked one up on a ground out back in the 2nd inning. Lowry, the lefty, gazes in for the sign. He's got it from Monkey. He fires to the righty, Zeb Ruse. Dots the outside corner. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Well, this between innings entertainment has been quite good. We also saw the first time that we were here, Rivets and Pittsburghers doing battle, there was a rain delay. And during that rain delay, some players came out and danced. Here's the payoff pitch. Called, strike 3. Fastball right down the outside corner. It's out number 1 in the bottom of the 8th. Rivets trailing 8-3.
I've got a great video on my phone of former Rivets pitcher Chan Yao-ming, a native of Taiwan. At the time, had only been in the United States for about 10 days, maybe fewer. And he was out on the field learning the Cotton Eye Joe.
Man.
An American classic.
Chan became accustomed to the culture very quickly. Whether that was the music or the food, specifically the food.
He was a big fan of the food.
A lot of Mountain Dew drank by Chan.
Big fan of Wendy's as well.
Mario Camilletti climbs in, first pitch in there for a called strike. It's 0-1. Camilletti 0 for 3 with a walk.
With the new rules in NCAA, if Chan decides to come back over to the United States and play college baseball here, may look for a deal with Wendy's. Every day wanted to go to Wendy's. It was his favorite fast food spot.
The 0-1 laced up the middle into center field for a base hit. Proctor around third. He's going to get the wave around. The throw from Hawkins is up the line. Proctor slides into home plate. And it's 9-3. Traverse City in the bottom of the 8th on an RBI single from Camilletti. But, you know, Chan has since headed back to Taiwan due to an injury. But what an experience for a guy like him. Had never been to the United States, didn't speak a lick of English when he got here. And to see how far he came in the month and a half, maybe 2 months he was here, was really remarkable, and it was fun to watch.
Yeah, it was a great experience for everyone in the locker room too. I mean, Chan became super close with everyone he met.
Tito Flores climbs in, and the first pitch to him misses high.
Yeah, and I mean, by the end of it, Chan could hold a conversation in English. It was broken, but for a guy only 2 months into learning any English, it was pretty impressive. Really smart guy, but really left an impact on the clubhouse and really missed. Just his energy, even though he hasn't pitched in a while, only left recently.
Fastball runs inside. Flores jumps out of the way. 2 balls, no strikes. Camilletti remains on first base. First run of the ball game since the 4th for Traverse City here.
Yeah, just a lot of memories for a lot of these guys on this team, and a lot of memories for Chan himself. I know he got super tight with fellow relief pitcher Tucker Shalley and center fielder Tyler Hawkins, too, who he lived with for his 2 months here.
2-0, swinging a foul back. 2 balls, 1 strike. It was a lot of fun hanging out with Chan. I roomed with Chan on his final road trip. Chan and Randy, the Rivets strength and conditioning coach, for all of, 4 days? Before he headed back to Taiwan with Chan.
I don't even know.
That was an interesting deal. Randy, a nice guy, but very similar to Chan, did not speak any English. Lowry sets. Here's the 2-1. Swinging another foul back, 2-2. But by the end of it, you were right. Chan could hold a conversation. One of our last actual conversations, we were sitting in Kenosha before a pregame meal, and Chan asked me, "How old are you?" And I said, "I'm 21. He said, "Wow, you're 21? You look like a very young man." I don't know if that's good or bad. The runner goes, swing and a miss, throw down, not in time. Tito Flores is retired on strikes for the second out of the inning. Camilletti swipes second base. And here's Michael Steigels in a 9-3 ball game favoring Traverse City. And I suppose I do look pretty young compared to a lot of these guys sporting long, full beards. You're one of them. But I'm pretty clean shaven. I think that does the trick.
Yeah, this is my summer ball beard. This is not my normal appearance. Most people are not used to me with any facial hair.
Interesting. First pitch to Steigels, runs inside, knocked down by Monque. Runner goes down to third. The throw is not in time. Looked like Camilletti got a very bad jump, and the throw beat him to the bag, but the throw was too high. Wade Elliott couldn't get it down in time.
Yeah, that throw placement, always a huge difference maker. I mean, stolen bases and moving up on a wild pitch or a pass ball can be a matter of milliseconds, and going from over your head down to tag or right at your hip to tag can be the difference between safe or out.
1-0 count on Michael Steigels, and the next pitch misses inside. 2 balls and no strikes. Let's take a look at the out-of-town scoreboard, shall we? Kokomo and Kalamazoo tied at 6, bottom of the 10th. How about those Jackrabbits? All those extra inning games. 2-0 lined into center field. Sends Tyler Hawkins back, and he makes the grab to end the frame. We'll get to that out-of-town scoreboard a little bit more, but Kokomo has played probably 5 extra inning games this season, so I'm not really surprised. Here, we're not exactly headed to extras quite yet. Rivets trailing now 9-3. Headed to the 9th right after this on the Rockford Rivets Baseball Network. Last chance for the Rockford Rivets as they trail their Great Lakes East rival Traverse City by 6, 9-3. In the top of the 9th here in Traverse City, Michigan. Traverse City chipping on an insurance run in the bottom of the 8th inning, scoring 4 straight innings. To open this one, Rivets with all 3 of their runs in the top of the 2nd. Rockford's going to have to do it against a new pitcher. It's Daniel Carter.
Yeah, Daniel Carter, the redshirt sophomore from North Carolina A&T, has had a few good appearances recently. His last 3 appearances, all scoreless, just 1 hit across 4 innings. On the year, though, a .587 ERA in 7 2/3 innings. All 9 of his appearances have been out of the pen.
And before we get underway, it looks like a fan dropped their glove over the left field fence. So Trey Younger has to trot out there and hand it back to him. Hold on to your gloves, kids. We're almost through this one. Joaquin Monque climbs in and takes ball 1. Monque has 2 walks and a pop out. So he's 0 for 1. Rivets with 6 hits and 1 error in this contest. The kick in the 1-0. Line drive back to the screen. And if the net wasn't there, I think that would have been our chance.
Yeah, another missed opportunity for Larry and I as Larry pulls out the glove.
I'm putting the glove on, folks. I'm not missing my chance. Here we go. Daniel Carter comes set. Here's the 0-1. Swing and a pop fly into shallow left center field. It keeps getting deeper, and Cruz Taylor runs it down. That was not shallow. Moncay got into that one, but no less. It's out number one. Rivets trail 9-3. One out, nobody on for Connor Goodman here in the ninth. Well, looking at the windows we've got in front of us, there have been baseballs that have bounced off of them. There's a baseball spot right in front of me, actually.
Yeah, there's 2 or 3 over on my window as well.
First pitch to Connor Goodman, lefty on lefty. He leans out of the way. It's 1-0.
Not surprising. This stadium's been around longer than the Pitts Bitters have. Definitely seen a lot of action. All of these suites probably have their fair share of window marks.
Daniel Carter fires the 1-0, swinging a foul back. 1 ball, 1 strike. The Rivets and Pitts Bitters are going to run this one back tomorrow, I believe at 5:05 Eastern time.
Yes,
we've got a final score in Kokomo. Jackrabbits 7, Growlers 6. Breaking ball misses down and outside. 2 balls, 1 strike on Connor Goodman.
Yeah, that's a tough sight for Rivets fans and players alike. Obviously, the Screws don't look like they're going to get it done here tonight. As
that one slapped down the left field line, and it drops fair. Goodman's on his horse. He's going to cruise into second. It's a stand-up, 1-out double for the redshirt sophomore from UW-Milwaukee.
And I would hope I spoke too soon there, but if the Screws can't get it done here, the least you could hope for is that Kalamazoo can help us out, pick up a win against the Jackrabbits. But man, that Kokomo team is tough to beat late in games.
They have been fantastic in extras. That's back-to-back extra inning wins for them. One here in Traverse City, and then they walk it off at home. They've also beat the Rivets in an extra inning game. First pitch to Josue Urdaneta, slapped into right field. That one drops fair. Zeb Bruce over to cut it off, and Goodman rounds third, and he's going to come home and score, but Urdaneta is out at second base, trying to stretch a single into a double. He picks up an RBI, but he is out number 2, and the Rivets are down to their final out, now trailing 9-4.
Yeah, Urdaneta pretty upset about that call, but not much you can do there. Only one umpire really has the angle there. So whatever he says, that will almost definitely stand in that situation.
So now Daniel Cantu is the Rivets' last hope. Base is empty in the top of the ninth. First pitch, misses high and outside. The crowd rises to its feet. They're going bananas. Not actually.
Yeah, the
press box rises to its feet.
The crowd has been lulled to sleep by the string of zeros on both sides of the board.
1-0, swinging a ground ball down to first base. This should do it. Jake Arnold gloves it and takes it to the bag himself, and the ball game is over. The Rivets fall 9-4 to Traverse City to open a 2-game series and a 4-game road trip. We'll be back to wrap it up after this on the Rockford Rivets Baseball Network. Final lines in this one. First for the victorious Traverse City Pittsbitters. 9 runs on 8 hits, 2 errors, and 6 runners left on base. For the Rivets, 4 runs on 8 hits, 1 error, and 5 left. The pitchers of record, Morgan Lunsford, gets the victory after he went 2 innings, not allowing an earned run, just giving up 2 hits and struck out 1. He came on in relief of Ryan Tinsley, the starter. He only went 4 innings, surrendering all but 1 of the Rivets' runs tonight. 3 runs total, 2 earned. The loser is Ryan Cully. He went 3 1/3, allowing 6 hits, 8 runs, 7 of which were earned. The big number, 5 walks, no strikeouts, and Cully drops to 1-2 on the season. And Ethan, the Rivets fell behind early. They didn't let it get to them, though, as they roared back in the second inning, scoring 3 runs. They took a 3-2 lead, but after that, bats just fell asleep.
Yeah, kind of a tough game to watch here from pretty much anyone in the stadium. Probably was just disappointed in the Rivets' performance. Definitely looked like we were going to have a barn burner here at first, but ended up being a pretty comfortable win for the Pittsbitters. Yeah, just all in all, pretty disappointing for the Rivets. Normally a team that heats up late and just could not get it going after that second inning.
So the Rivets drop their second half record to 7-10, and they fall 5 games behind the first place Kokomo Jackrabbits. That's not a place you want to be with now just 19 games remaining in the regular season. As for Traverse City, they improved to above 500 on the half after a very lackluster start. 1-5 start to the half, but now they are 9-8. And they pick up their 30th victory overall, 30-23. The Rivets overall pick up their 30th loss, 22-30 this summer. Rivets and Pittsbitters getting this one down in 2 hours and 50 minutes in front of a crowd of 1,069 on a northwestern Michigan Saturday night, superhero night. And the Pittsbitters looked like the heroes tonight. These two squads are going to run it back tomorrow, 5:05 Eastern, 4:05 back home in the Central Time Zone. Ethan, your final thoughts?
Yeah, obviously we talked about it pregame. The Rivets really need to pick up 3 wins on this road trip. I mean, 2-2 is respectable given the competition we're playing, but if we really want to make a playoff push, these next 3 games are must win, especially those 2 in Indiana against the Jackrabbits. That's a hot Kokomo team. The Rivets were able to pick up a win against them once. Hopefully they can tap into that and pick up 2 more at their place.
We're moving into do-or-die territory for the Rockford Rivets as they fall behind even more tonight in the second half playoff race. But we're going to leave it here for tonight from Turtle Creek Stadium in Traverse City, Michigan. So for my partner Ethan Blake, it's been a pleasure talking with you. First time I've had a partner all season on the road. Always fun to chat with Ethan. And thank you for listening. This is Larry Larson saying so long and good night from Traverse City. Again, the final. Rivets fall 9-4. We'll talk to you tomorrow.